Hey everyone, and welcome to Bite Size Tactics. In this video, I wanted to have a look at the Impulsor, a really great transport and small space marine carrier. So the Impulsor has a 12-inch movement, has a toughness of 9, a 3 plus armor save, 11 wounds, 6 plus leadership and OC2, and currently costs 80 points. So the big standout is obviously the movement at 12 inches, and toughness 9 means it's on the lower tier for vehicle toughness. A 3 plus armor save is pretty good, but standard among Space Marine units. 11 wounds is also quite tricky because it means multi-damage weapons might not be so great or efficient against this unit. And 6 plus leadership is also very standard among Space Marine datasheets. So starting with the keywords, the Impulsor has the vehicle keyword, which will be important for abilities and stratagems throughout the game, and possibly even detachments. It also has the transport keyword, which could be important again for some stratagems and abilities throughout the game. And then finally, it is a dedicated transport, so it needs to have a unit in the transport at the start of the game. Now looking at its abilities, it has Deadly Demise D3 and has Fire Index 6, so all 6 people or marines inside can fire as well as the Impulsor itself. And finally, it has the Assault Vehicle. So this vehicle can advance and then unload troops, and those troops count as having made a normal move, so they can still fire, but they cannot charge. Finally, they have a few war gear abilities. The first one is Orbital Comms Array. So when a friendly unit uses a stratagem within 6 inches, you can roll a die, and on a 5 plus, you gain 1 CP back. And the last one is Shield Drone. So the bearer, in this case the Impulsor, will have a 5 plus invulnerable save. Now looking at the weapons for the Impulsor, it comes equipped with 2 Storm Bolters, which has Rapid Fire 2 and really only good at killing light infantry, and it also has the Armored Hull as a melee weapon, and that's not really great at combat, so we'll kind of skip over that here. However, the Impulsor can be equipped with an Iron Hail Stubber, which has Rapid Fire 3, and again is still only good at killing light infantry, and this is kind of a common theme that we'll see with the weapons for the Impulsor, as most of them are Strength 4, have no AP, and are Damage 1. You can then exchange both Storm Bolters for Fragstorm grenade launchers, and the big difference here is that you have the blast ability and D6 shots. But again, like I said before, still really only good at killing light infantry at no AP, strength 4, only damage 1. Finally, you can have one of 4 options. You could either choose the Orbital Comms Array or the Shield Drone from the War Gear abilities, or you could have the Bellicatus Missile Array, which has 3 profiles. The first one is Frag, which has the blast ability, D6 shots, strength 4, 1 damage, and again, only good at killing light infantry. It also has the Icarus profile, which has Anti-Fly 2 plus, D3 shots, strength 8, minus 1 AP and damage 2. So this is really good at taking out some speeders, or perhaps just getting some shots against mounted units. And then the final profile is the Crack one. So this is your somewhat of a Hail Mary against a high toughness enemy and just hoping it gets through. It's got a strength of 8, minus 2 AP however, and does D6 damage. And this might not be bad against a similar sort of light vehicle like the Impulsor. Finally, you could also have the Iron Hail Sky Talon Array for an option. This is Anti-Fly 4 plus, sustained hits 1, 8 attacks, strength 4 with only 1 damage. Now looking at the weaknesses, the Impulsor can be move blocked somewhat easily, and you want this vehicle to move up the board. And it's not overly tough at toughness 9, and it can be killed quite effectively with high AP and high damage weapons. Also, you don't want this unit to get stuck in combat, as it won't really be able to get itself out, and then the unit inside is stuck in there. It can't move more than 1 infantry unit unless you have eliminators inside, and a lot of other transports have this ability to have more than 1 unit inside, which makes it a little bit more dynamic. And its weapons are really only good at dealing with light infantry units, so it can't hold up against high toughness enemies, so you need to be aware of that when placing it on the board. It's not a massive primary scorer. This unit is more just a facilitator. Now for its strengths. It can advance very far up the board, and especially with its ability to allow those troops inside to still have only just made a normal move, means that those troops inside can get out and then do actions as they are still eligible to shoot. It's also really great at getting those small battle line units up the board, again for the objectives, and possibly even facilitating some secondary scoring here, all within possibly turn 1 or turn 2. Because it's only 80 points, it is still quite cheap, and it is a useful transport, so it can still be thrown into harm's way when needed and possibly cause a move block of its own and just holding up your opponent's vehicles or monsters for a turn. Finally, the Impulsor is a really great universal model, and it can be used in all detachments and in all different kinds of Space Marine armies. When you look at its transport capabilities, you can have up to 6 Tacticus or Phobos infantry models inside the transport. And when we look at the generic Space Marines that can be inside of it, you have your company heroes, your intercessor squads, Incursor squad, infiltrator squad, Blade Guard, Stone Guard, Veteran, Infernus squad, Reaver squad, Hellblaster, Eliminator, and Desolation squad. This isn't including all the other divergent units, like in the Space Wolves, Blood Angels, etc. But you can see that it has quite a wide array of who can enter this transport, and thus it has a lot of different uses. It doesn't have to be pegged to just send your intercessors up to then hold an objective. It could be quite good for Hellblaster squad inside that can just shoot. And now with how Hazard has changed, thanks to the balanced data slate, that's quite a good option now. Now, for my verdict, I think it's a great universal transport that you can take a multiple of and have all different kinds of units inside. So you could have your Blade Guard in there for some melee attack, again, your Hellblasters for some shooting, and then those Intercessor squads for securing objectives, or just doing actions on objectives for secondary scoring. And I think you'll get a lot of use out of this model and as a transport itself. And I think it's a solid unit because it's so great in multiple detachments. Thank you all for watching the video. If you liked it, feel free to click the like button, comment what you think of the Impulsor and whether you use it a lot, and subscribe for more content.